If any of you guys watched the Overwatch League games over the weekend, which I would actually say went a lot better than I expected, you might have noticed that the Boston Uprising was missing one of their usual players, that being Mouffin. And that's because just over the weekend, several women have come forth with allegations of sexual misconduct against Mouffin, claiming that he tried to kiss them and touch them aggressively, as well as sending sex to minors and offering minors drinks. But there is a whole lot to look at, so I'm just gonna obviously just hump straight into it. Last Friday, March 27th, Overwatch streamer Khaleesi posted a twitlonger titled About Mouffin, and of course, feel free to pause here if you want to read it, and I will have a link to the twitlongers you see in this video, but I'm going to paraphrase it for you guys. She says, last summer around this time, her and Mouffin started to become really close friends. They eventually got feelings for each other, and Mouffin asked her to be his girlfriend. She says she wants them to be exclusive, but they haven't met up in person yet, so they'll wait to meet up at TwitchCon. But then she says that on that day of becoming exclusive, she got texts from her friends saying that Mouffin was DMing other girls, some of them that Khaleesi knows, and he was asking for nudes. Khaleesi confronted him, he apologized, and she forgave him. Skip to July, and Mouffin apparently does it again, but this time, the girl is underage. She confronts him, he doesn't deny that he did it, and she decides to break things off and stay as friends. Then when TwitchCon was coming up, Khaleesi wasn't going to be able to go because of financial issues, but her friend Star and Mouffin sent her money to pay for her trip without letting her know, and since then, she's paid them back for everything. So that was a lot to read, but there is much more, and to make it simpler, she basically had a thing with Mouffin. Mouffin goes behind her back and starts sexting other girls. She forgives him, and then he goes and does it again, but this time with a minor. So she ends up breaking things off and just wants to stay as friends, but then Mouffin and her friend Star end up actually buying her a ticket to fly her out to TwitchCon without her even being aware. So another wall of text coming up. Be prepared because this is where things get weirder. She says that right before she shows up to TwitchCon, Mouffin drunk texts her saying how much he loves her and how much he wants to date her, and she tells him to take things slowly and they'll see how things go when they meet. She gets to TwitchCon and Mouffin shows her his phone background, which is a picture of her face, and then 5 minutes later he's in her face trying to touch her and kiss her, and her friends step in to separate them, and she ends up having to ask her friends to stay close to her because she was scared. Later that night, he got drunk and saw Khaleesi sitting on the lap of another dude, which he really didn't like, and she says he was being aggressive and creepy with other girls there, grabbing their wrists so hard that he left bruises on them. Those girls, as well as Khaleesi, tell other guys at the party to watch out for them because, again, they felt unsafe, but Khaleesi then leaves the house with the guy that she was with because she was scared of being in that same house with Mouffin. Mouffin ends up crying all night, telling everyone that he led her on for a relationship but ended up hooking up with another guy, which she claims isn't true and that she was clear with her intentions. And then a week after TwitchCon, Mouffin blocks Khaleesi without explanation and continued to say bad things about her. She says they didn't talk until late January, but she tried making up with him because she missed their friendship. But then she's told that Mouffin might be going on an apology spree because he had been DMing underage girls sexually again, sending them videos and engaging in sexual behavior with them. And at this point, Khaleesi came to the conclusion that he had a thing for underage girls and overall extremely predatory behavior towards women. She says that a lot of the underage girls aren't coming forth with it and that he bullied them into deleting evidence, as well as offering to buy them things if they kept their mouths shut. She also says that someone told her that he was offering drinks to underage girls at BlizzCon as well, and offering services as recently as January as far as she knows. She says she made Blizzard well aware of everything that happened, they open up an investigation, and she leaves off with a warning about him, as well as an album of images that show some of their DMs, which I'm going to show you right now. The first image is Mouffin being confronted and being told to go after girls his own age, to which he ends up bribing them by saying he'll build them a computer to make up for it, and Khaleesi blocked out the other text to keep them anonymous. Then the next image is a string of texts between Mouffin and Khaleesi, which she posted to prove that they weren't exclusive yet and that she didn't cheat on him by hooking up with another guy, since Mouffin made those claims. The next picture shows their conversation before TwitchCon, where she says she wants to take things slow, and then there's a screenshot of Mouffin showing Khaleesi's friend his phone background, which was a picture of her. Then she posts pictures of a conversation with Mouffin after TwitchCon where he asked if she still has feelings for him, and she said yes, but she just felt pressure to do more than just hold hands and cuddle. And Mouffin's response to that was that that's all I wanted to do in the first place, was hold hands and cuddle. And then he mentions the fact that she sat on the dude's lap in the backyard, to which she clarifies that she didn't mean anything behind it, there was just not much space, so she just needed somewhere to sit, and she got a little tired and eventually ended up falling asleep there. She didn't mean any harm by it. She didn't think that it was like unnormal at the time. And then he asked for what her intentions were, and she says that she still wants to be friends, but that doesn't mean that she's not down to chill. Then she posts another screenshot of their conversation where Mouffin tells his feelings about her, which I'm not going to read, but feel free to pause here if you'd like to read them. Basically, she's showing us these images to prove that they weren't dating and weren't planning on dating at TwitchCon, and that she just wanted to be friends. But then she posts more images on her Twitter thread, which shows Mouffin saying, she found out that I blocked her, but her bestie keeps hoping that her and I will mend things up, But F that disgusting trash can, no way in hell I'd even speak in her direction. Hopefully this teaches something for her bird brain. Stuff has consequences, you know? You can't be pushing 30 and not know that. Then he says, I'm about to block Star, way too annoying, and I see why everyone calls her annoying. I honestly liked her at first as a friend, but she will do anything for her idol. Her idol literally dated someone behind my back, lied to me countless of times, and even tried to lie about the most obvious thing, like her leaving the Airbnb at 2 a.m. to hook up with some guy. And speaking of Star, she had her own part of the story to share as well, which I'm just going to paraphrase for you guys again, because it's largely the same story, but just from a different perspective, minus a few details that were left out from Khaleesi's Tweet Longer. She opens up by saying at first, she tries to help Mouffin and Khaleesi become a couple, but that changed because he became obsessive, flirted with other girls, and asked them for nudes while talking to Khaleesi. Star says that she's the friend who Mouffin showed the picture of his phone background to, and that he kept talking about how much he loved her and couldn't wait to see her. Mouffin texts Star later about how drunk he is, but a girl is occupying the bathroom, so he pees outside. He comes back to where Star is staying, very obviously drunk, and he gets handsy with her and another girl, and she reveals that she's the one who had her wrist grabbed, and that Mouffin kept pulling her towards his face, and other people had to help to get him off her. Eventually, Star wakes up with a drunk Mouffin in her room, sitting on the edge of her bed, talking about if he's good enough for Kelsey, or Khaleesi. Then she says he invades her personal space, and she has to yell out loud to get someone to get him out of her room. Then after that, Mouffin didn't treat her as a friend, and took credit for paying for Khaleesi's ticket to TwitchCon, even though Star paid him back for it. Then after it was all over, she tried messaging him in January if they could talk about what happened at TwitchCon, and she never got a response back. And she uploaded her own photo album of proof as well, where she proves that she agreed to pay him back for the plane tickets, as well as a bunch of other DMs between the two that I'm just going to link you guys and not show you because I feel like it'd make this video a lot more longer and convoluted and confusing, but whatever. And Khaleesi even posted DMs that she received from a 17-year-old girl at the time, so obviously someone who was underage, where Mouffin was sexually explicit with her. And again, I will link you guys to all these pictures, all these screenshots, all these Tweet Longers, tweets, whatever it is, because it's a lot. But Khaleesi mentioned that Blizzard had launched an investigation, and as a result, the Boston Uprising let us know on Twitter that they learned about the allegations against Mouffin, and that's why he wouldn't be competing in this last weekend's OWL matches, and the investigation is still ongoing. And of course, I've got to say, guys, this is Khaleesi's story, not my own. I cannot really testify to any of the events that happened here. I can't say how true anything is, but in the event that they are true, I will say that I hope Mouffin is dealt with properly, and I hope that he never gets the chance to prey on women, especially underage girls, ever again. So it's an unfortunate story, and I hope that the girls affected by it can recover, and a huge props to the girls that did come out with their story, because I know it takes a ton of courage to speak up about something as serious as this. And of course, I will be here to update you guys in any developments of Mouffin's investigation, or just Mouffin's status in the OWL. We'll see where he is a few months from now, I guess. But of course, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all very soon. Take it easy. Have a wonderful day. And of course, be safe. Goodbye, everyone.